Hi everybody, this is Saad for the Saad Truth. Some of you may have watched my recent lecture at the Manning Conference wherein I read a bunch of first-person testimonies from students, from professors, and in one case from a parent of a student, all of whom were testifying to the incredibly stifling environment on campuses that leads to self-censorship and thought policing and so on. Today I wanted to add to the annals of lunacy to be found on campuses. The gentleman in question who wrote to me was happy that I would read his letter verbatim, but he asked that I remove his name, which I'm happy to oblige, of course. So here it goes. As I read this is happening in this case, an Ivy League university in the United States. It's not in Yemen. It's not in North Korea. Here we go. The subject line for the email is a huge thank you from a straight, cisgendered, conservative, Christian, Republican, white male. Oh boy, this guy's in trouble on university campuses. Hello, Professor. As a former student at Brown University, okay, this is one of the 8 Ivy League universities, I want to personally thank you for the work you are doing to fix the incredible liberal bias at universities as well as fixing OPS. OPS is the term that I coined, ostrich parasitic syndrome. If you're not familiar with it, I would certainly implore you to check out my recent lecture on that topic. I entered Brown University in 2008 with all the labels mentioned in the subject line and was only able to withstand 3 semesters before transferring out. This is a person, a free person in the United States, who went to Brown University and after 3 semesters decided to leave because he could no longer handle the abuse. Let's keep going. As a conservative in a, quote, liberal, open-minded, and tolerant, close quote, university, I received an unfathomable amount of bullying, ridicule, being looked down upon, and outright abuse from not only students, but professors as well. The atmosphere around the campus was extremely unwelcoming for people with a different viewpoint. That's surprising. I mean, liberals and progressives are so tolerant. Some specific examples of what I experienced. 1. My roommates knew that I was a Christian, so when I was gone, they had a party and made a pyramid of about 300 beer cans on my bed. They also drew a picture of a penis and wrote F you on the door. 2. A professor, knowing I was a conservative Christian, threw a Bible on the ground and stomped on it and asked if it offended him. I'd like that professor to try it with the Quran and see what happens. 3. People in my dorm, knowing who I was, pounding on the door when I was trying to sleep and running away for 10 minutes, then coming back and doing it again for hours. Now this one we might perhaps attribute it to just young people being silly, if we want to be charitable. 4. My roommate would intentionally bring girls home and sleep with them while I was in the room because he knew it made me uncomfortable. Again, this could simply be due to the fact that the roommate was just an obnoxious, insensitive person. But in any case, let's go on. Of course, there are more examples, but in addition to the specific things, there was an overwhelming feeling of arrogance and snobbery that they held the truth, and conservatives were ignorant, toothless rednecks from Alabama. I felt extremely uncomfortable and unsafe sharing my feelings in any setting, whether in the classroom or with other students, and therefore I didn't have many friends. I wish they had safe spaces back in 2008. In addition to this, my brother and his partner have recently ceased contacting me because they learned I voted for Trump. What kind of monster would do such a thing? I mean, how could 60+ million people be such Nazis? They called me a racist, homophobic, sexist, misogynist, Islamophobic, xenophobic, hateful, close-minded, intolerant bigot. Even though I am pro-gay marriage, a pastor of a 50% black church, married to a Korean woman, and speak fluent Korean while living full-time in Korea as a teacher at a school that is 100% Korean. That guy sounds like a bigot. I can go 2 months without seeing another white person. I am an immigrant, yet I am anti-immigrant. Anyways, I'm preaching to the choir here. I've been living in Korea since 2012, and I've been absolutely shocked by how much more severe the situation has become on campuses in America, as well as in the media and Hollywood. Just in the last 2 years, it has really intensified to the point where I would never even dream of wearing a Trump hat in public in America. I thought that showing any allegiance to Trump was forbidden now. It's illegal, isn't it? As the country becomes more, quote, progressive, it is becoming more and more intolerant and violent towards conservatives. I'm really worried about the future of the country, and I want to thank you so much for your work. I hope you get the chance to read this, even though I'm sure you get literally thousands of emails a day. I do get tons of emails, and many of them very much enunciate the exact same rough sentiments as you are expressing here. If you have a chance to respond, I'd love to hear from you. I did respond to the gentleman in question. So what do you think? Does it sound like this is the type of society that we want to live in? Does this sound like it is freedom of speech and freedom of thought and freedom of conscience? Even if you are so-called liberal, and I say so-called because no true liberal could go to bed at night believing that such a reality exists in free societies. But whether you are liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, religious, atheist, if you truly believe in free societies, then these types of emails that I receive, as this gentleman said, innumerable number of them, those should be an affront to human dignity, to human freedom, and you should be doing all that you can to contribute in any way that you can. Again, I understand that not everybody has a big platform, not everybody has got many followers, but that doesn't matter. You could be fighting in your classroom, you could be fighting on Facebook, you could be fighting in a bar conversation. And when I say fighting, I don't mean that it has to be adversarial, it doesn't have to be controversial, it doesn't have to be belligerent, although it can be. But just weigh in, don't be quiet, don't sit idly, don't let others carry the full burden of trying to redress the dreadful situation that we are in. In any case, I hope that you are having a good weekend. I will be sharing more of these types of communiques from people who write me because, again, nothing is more powerful than simply sharing a first-person testimony of someone who is afraid to speak their mind on an American or Canadian campus. Talk to you soon. Ciao.